Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are making an Oreo cake. It was meant to be Oreo cupcakes, but I couldn't get those paper from the supermarket. So yeah, we're just going to make a cake. But if you want to use the butter to make cupcakes, well and good. It makes around 16 cupcakes. And I hope you enjoy the recipe. Let's get to it. Okay, so for the recipe, we are going to use a quarter cup of cocoa. Yeah, this is the orangish cocoa. Yeah, so we are going to use a quarter cup of cocoa, 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.3 cup of sugar, salt. This is Himalayan salt, but you can use any salt. Baking soda, coffee, very hot coffee, a quarter cup of coffee, 2 eggs, buttermilk. Okay, I didn't have buttermilk, so I'll show you guys how to make a chinku buttermilk. It's just use milk and vinegar. So I'm using 1/2 cup of milk and some drops of vinegar. And then this is a 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 1/4 cup of plain yogurt, and definitely the Oreos. Yeah. So now we are going to sift all the dry ingredients in a large bowl. We'll start with the all-purpose flour. And then the 1.3 cups of sugar. Now I will sift the cocoa powder, a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And then we'll add a teaspoon of salt. And 1/2 tablespoon of baking soda. This is our rising agent. Thoroughly mix all the dry ingredients. Mix. And then we put it aside and get to the wet ingredients. Beat 2 large eggs in the large bowl. So now we are going to make our mock buttermilk. Yeah, so we take the milk and we add a few drops of vinegar. This is white vinegar. We add like 2-3 drops so that it can fill the 1/2 cup of milk. And then we put it aside so that it can rest and now become the buttermilk. So we stir, and then now we put it aside to rest. So in the large bowl, we mix 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. Make sure that you put all of it there. Then 1/4 cup of plain yogurt. Our 1/4 cup of hot coffee.
We use hot coffee so that it can help in enriching the flavor of the cocoa. So please use hot coffee if you can. And then vanilla extract. We'll use half a tablespoon of vanilla extract. So after letting the milk rest for a while, it will become buttermilk, and now we add it in the large bowl. It's going to be a bit clumpy and all. Then now we stir to incorporate all the wet ingredients. After mixing the wet ingredients, we'll add the wet ingredients into the bowl with the dry ingredients. So we pour it all in and then we stir. The mixture is going to be a bit light, so don't worry. That's how it's meant to be. It's going to be a bit watery. So now we are going to cut the Oreos. For me, I used 8 Oreos. If you're an Oreo fan, you can use more than 8. But I found like 8 is a lot for this recipe. But yeah, so I used 8 Oreos. I chopped them finely. If you have a food processor, you can use it. I didn't have a food processor. But if you have a food processor, it chops the Oreos completely, so you can use it. If not, use a chopping board and a knife. Now we'll add the chopped Oreos in the large bowl with the mixture, and then we'll thoroughly incorporate the Oreos in the mixture. So this is how your mixture will look like after you've completely mixed everything. Yeah, I told you it's a bit light, but yeah, you'll see the magic in the oven. So now we'll dust our baking sheets. I used an 8-inch pan. We're going to apply some butter, Blue Band, into the baking sheets. After applying the butter, we are going to dust with some all-purpose flour. This is usually to prevent the cake from sticking on the baking sheet and to just help it be smooth when you're taking it off the baking sheet. So we'll dust our baking sheets. So we are done dusting, and now we're going to put our butter in the baking sheet. So now we are going to heat our baking pan so I had to remove the air bubbles. But a disclaimer, I was doing this in the morning and then KPLC. Anyway, lights got lost, so I baked at night. So preheat the oven, double malfunction, 200 degrees Celsius. Yeah, you'll preheat it for 10 minutes, but when you're baking, you bake for 40 minutes. So this is how my cake looked like after I was done baking. Yeah, lights got lost when I was still baking, so hence the two difference, but you can see it's okay too sour. Yep. So these are some cupcakes I baked with the exact same recipe. Yeah, you can just look at them there, they looked so beautiful. And this is my friend's cake I baked again with the same exact recipe. So I hope you enjoy.